Think about this: why the rich keep getting richer, while the poor remain poor. Welcome to our exploration of the Great Divide, the chasm in wealth that separates the haves from the have-nots. You've probably heard the shocking statistics. The richest 1% of the global population owns more wealth than the remaining 99% combined. But it's not just about numbers, it's about people. It's about families struggling to make ends meet, while a select few seem to accumulate wealth with relative ease. It's about the mother working 2 jobs to put food on the table, while the billionaire buys his 5th yacht. This isn't just an issue in one country or one region, it's a worldwide phenomenon. From the skyscrapers of New York to the shantytowns of Mumbai, the wealth disparity is glaring and growing. Now let's make one thing clear. Wealth in itself isn't a bad thing. It's the disparity, the imbalance, that's the problem. When the wealth of a few grows at the expense of the many, we're dealing with a system that's fundamentally flawed. And yet, the wheels keep turning. The rich keep getting richer, amassing wealth in dimensions that defy comprehension. On the other hand, the poor remain trapped in a cycle of poverty, struggling against odds that seem insurmountable. As we peel back the layers, we'll see that this isn't just the result of individual choices or simple luck. There are powerful forces at play, shaping our world in ways that favor the wealthy and perpetuate poverty. From policies and practices to systems and structures, the deck seems stacked against those starting from the bottom. It's as if the game is rigged, the rules written for the benefit of those already at the top. So, why is this the case? Why does it seem like the rich are playing a different game altogether? The system seems rigged, but how does this happen? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the mechanisms that maintain this great divide. In a world of abundance, why do so many lack the basic necessities? This question has puzzled economists, philosophers, and sociologists alike for ages. The answer, unfortunately, is multifaceted and complex. To begin, let's take a look at some stark realities. Despite the advancements of the 21st century, nearly 1 in 5 people live in extreme poverty, scraping by on less than $2 a day. That's about 1 billion of our fellow human beings who lack access to basic needs such as nutritious food, clean water, and safe shelter. But the poverty trap is about more than just material deprivation. It's also about the absence of opportunities. For instance, those living in poverty often lack access to quality education. Without a solid educational foundation, it becomes exceedingly difficult for them to acquire the skills needed for well-paying jobs. This lack of education, therefore, perpetuates the cycle of poverty, creating a generational curse that's incredibly difficult to break. Healthcare, too, is a crucial factor. When medical care is unaffordable or inaccessible, the poor are left vulnerable to diseases and health conditions that can prevent them from working and earning a living. Over time, medical expenses can drain limited resources, pushing families deeper into poverty. And then there's the issue of opportunities, or rather, the lack thereof. Even when the poor manage to acquire some level of education or skill, they often face barriers to employment due to discrimination, geographic isolation, or simply the lack of available jobs. This cycle, poverty leading to lack of education, insufficient healthcare, and scarce opportunities, which in turn leads back to poverty, is what we refer to as the poverty trap. It's a system that feeds on itself, making it exceedingly difficult for those caught in it to break free. So you see, poverty isn't just about not having enough money, it's about not having enough opportunities, and most importantly, it's about systemic issues that keep the poor in a state of deprivation. Poverty isn't an accident, it's a trap designed to keep the poor poor. But how does the rich keep getting richer? Well, it's a system that's been built over generations, and it's about more than just having money. It's about access to better education, opportunities, and financial advice. These are the tools that help the wealthy grow their fortunes. You see, when you have money, you can afford to send your children to the best schools. These institutions don't just offer superior education, they are grooming grounds for future leaders, providing networks and connections that can last a lifetime. They are stepping stones to prestigious universities, internships, and eventually, high-paying jobs. So, this cycle of wealth continues unabated, from one generation to the next. Then, there are opportunities. With money, you can invest in profitable ventures, start businesses, or purchase real estate. The rich have the financial capacity to take risks that others simply cannot afford. And when these risks pay off, the returns are often substantial, further increasing their wealth. But it's not just about what you earn, it's also about what you keep. The wealthy have access to expert financial advice. They understand the intricate world of taxes and investments. They know how to use tax laws to their advantage, and they know where to put their money to make it grow. And speaking of tax laws, the rich often benefit from them in ways the average person cannot. There are tax breaks for owning businesses, for investments, even for owning property. And then there are the loopholes, the complex strategies that allow the wealthy to legally reduce their tax burden, thereby retaining more of their wealth. So the rich don't just have more money, they have more ways to make it, to keep it, and to grow it. And this, in essence, is how the rich get richer. It's a system that perpetuates itself. Wealth begets more wealth, creating an ever-widening gap. So, is the system broken? This is the million-dollar question we've been leading up to. Let's dive right in. We've been told that if we work hard enough, we'll achieve success and wealth. But the reality is, the current economic system doesn't support that narrative. It's a system that disproportionately favors the rich. It's not just about individuals working harder or smarter. It's about a system that's skewed to benefit those already on top. Consider this. When you're wealthy, you have access to opportunities that simply aren't available to those with less. You can invest in high-return ventures, get the best education, afford top-notch healthcare, and take risks without the fear of falling into poverty. It's a cycle of wealth that perpetuates itself, growing wider with each generation. But it's not just about the money. The influence of corporations and the wealthy extends to politics and policies. With their financial power, they can sway political agendas, influence laws and policies, and essentially shape the rules of the game in their favor. They can lobby for tax breaks, push for deregulation, and even dictate the terms of international trade agreements. This isn't just about individual greed, it's a systemic issue. We need to understand that this is not an accident. This isn't the result of a few bad apples or corrupt individuals. This is the result of a system that's been designed to protect and increase the wealth of those at the top. It's an economic and political structure that's been carefully engineered to maintain the status quo. So, to answer the question, is the system broken? No, it's not. The system isn't malfunctioning. It's not failing to do its job. It's not broken because it's doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's preserving wealth for those who already have it, and making it increasingly difficult for those who don't to break through. And this brings us to the sobering conclusion. The system isn't broken. It's functioning exactly as it's designed to. Can we ever break free from this cycle? The question that has been lingering in the air, waiting patiently for an answer. Yes, the system is broken. Yes, the rich get richer while the rest of us struggle to make ends meet. But is there a way out? Is there a chance for us to break free from this vicious cycle? The answer is a resounding yes, and it begins with understanding that change is possible. It starts with policy changes. Governments around the world need to implement policies that ensure wealth is distributed more evenly. This doesn't mean taking from the rich and giving to the poor. It means creating a system where everyone has a fair chance to prosper, where the gap between the rich and the poor doesn't keep widening. Next, we must invest in education. Not just any education, but quality education that prepares individuals for the future. Education that equips people with the right skills and knowledge to navigate through life successfully. Education that doesn't leave anyone behind, regardless of their socioeconomic status. But education alone is not enough. Access to healthcare is another crucial factor. It's high time we understood that good health is a right, not a privilege. Everyone should have access to the healthcare services they need, without suffering financial hardship. This is not a utopian dream, but a feasible reality that we can achieve through collective action and political will. Finally, it's about us. Yes, you heard that right. It's about you, me, and everyone else. We need to be more informed about the world around us. We need to be active in our communities. We need to speak up for what's right and stand against what's wrong. Because at the end of the day, the power to change lies within us. So can we break free from this cycle? Yes, we can, but it requires effort, perseverance, and a burning desire for change. Remember, change doesn't come overnight. It's a process, a journey that we embark on together. Change starts with awareness, and now you are aware.